Hello and welcome back to Satisfactory. My name is Volcata, and it's been a couple weeks since we last spoke, since the last episode, but I have been busy over the past couple of weeks. I have not just been sitting on my laurels. No, no, no. I have been very productive, and we have a bunch of stuff we want to do today, and those productive things I want to talk about, but I think we just kind of need to talk as we go because again, there's so much I want to get done in this episode. It's time to cash in on all that effort we've made. We're going to finally get our high-speed connectors up and running. It's been a long way. You know, we've been working on shoring up our supply lines. We've been overdoing them on purpose. There's a philosophy that we follow, which is that, you know, when you do something, don't do just enough. Do pretty much as you can, or what's reasonable, and it's going to pay off for us. And today is the beginning of that. We are going to get our high-speed connectors up and running. But before we get to that, there's actually a couple of other things I want to talk about. First of all, yesterday, which is not yesterday for me because it hasn't happened for me, but it has already happened for you. Yesterday was Saturday, and we had a Satisfactory live stream. Now, I'm going to assume that it was awesome because you guys are awesome, and when you come and hang out, it makes things more awesome than they already are. So we have a side project that we are working on in tandem with the episodic projects, and I would like for you guys, if you can, to come out and hang out, because the project we're working on is going to take probably 2 or 3 episodes, maybe more. I don't know. We'll see. But it's a work in progress, and it'd be great to have more people come and hang out, because again, it's a lot of fun, and it's great to be able to show you guys, you know, more behind the scenes of what's going on to building, rather than, you know, just jump cut to the next thing being done, and getting real time feedback. Also, you know, influences how a build comes out, and I'm really loving what we're doing. And the build that we are working on is going to be a true mega build, and it's great to have other people along for the ride. So that is one of the announcements I want to get out of the way. And the other thing I want to talk about that I have been doing over the past couple of weeks is I reached out to Coffee Scene Studios, to the community manager Snoot, because we have had a ongoing bug with our save that I felt was probably meant to already be fixed based on some bug reports or some bug fixes that have come out in recent patches. And our world did not get fixed, which was the problem that we were not seeing any mobs spawn. And you might see a little thing blinking up in the middle of the screen. See that right there? Unauthorized hostility. What is that? What is that? Could this be? Oh, looky there. Looky there. Oh, that's right. So, yeah, again, I was talking to Snoot about the problem, and he asked me to share with him our world, our save, and I did that. And not too long later, you know, a little bit later, we had this patch, this posting. Oh, we're not going to make it. Yeah, you see that there? That's right. So, you know, it might have been coincidence, I don't know, but, you know, I told Snoot I'm taking credit for it, and he said go ahead and do that. So, we have mobs back in our world. Hostile mobs, friendly mobs, everything's back, as far as I can tell. So that's awesome. You know, now we have things that we can shoot at. So, that's exciting. That was one of the things that, you know, I've been pursuing over the past couple weeks, and the Snoot is not the only person I've been talking to. There was someone else that I've had a very good interaction with over the past couple of weeks, and I will share that detail later. So that's we'll leave that a little cliffhanger. But I'm going to head to the electronics hub so that we can get to our projects for the day, because we have just so much to get done. And we're going to be all over the place, not just in the electronics hub. And if we have time, I want to give you a little preview on what we're working on this Saturday live stream as well, if we have time. So let's get to the electronics hub, get our project started, and see how much we can get done for the day. All right, here we are back at the electronics hub, and this is where we're going to start today, but I do not think that we're going to stick around too long. Woo, overshot. Back her up. Beep, beep, beep. But the first thing that I want to get done today is here. And so, over the past couple of weeks, I've been trying to clean some things up and preparing for today's project. I noticed something, a little goof that I made. I did a dum-dum, and I did it a few episodes back and didn't catch it. There was no reason for me to realize the problem that I had generated. And so I wanted to show you, whenever I make a mistake, I talk about it because, it's a learning experience that I want to share. The episodes I make, the way I do gaming and YouTubing is I also like to be educational and help people not make mistakes that I make. And when I make a mistake, I like to point it out and how we got there and how it is that I notice these mistakes. And right here is, this is one of our mistakes. It's been kind of an ambush. It's been waiting for us for a long time, and I did not know it. You see, this belt here is flowing pretty well, and it shouldn't be. You see, we have, on the sign here, indicates that we have 480 copper sheeting being produced over on the cliffs of copper up there. We'll have a close look at those in a minute. And that we are using 100 of them per minute before it gets to this container, remaining 380. And the cliffs of copper are shooting all of their copper sheeting through the AI limiter building there, and we were just storing there until we would need them later on. And last episode we started using them, so we put the smart splitter here, and the overflow is coming down here. Now this container is full, so it's all going through here. Everything that is left over is going through here, and according to this sign, that should be 380 per minute. And the building that they're going into is this building here. This is the circuit board building, which is using 330 per minute from 12 machines at 27.5, which means we should have a surplus of 50 per minute. This belt should be backing up, and it's not. Yeah, that's a problem. That is a problem. And so I noticed that. I noticed that this wasn't backing up, which made me do some investigating. And yeah, I made a boo-boo. So there's the cliffs of copper. Let's actually go up to that building real quick and get an aerial view of what's going on. All right, so there's our cliffs of copper, and we have friends who want to come and play. Okay, you guys just stay over there and we'll get along. All right, so the cliffs of copper here is eating 480 copper ingots per minute. If you remember this building, this is using an alternate recipe to produce just a ridiculous amount of ingots. So many so that half of them are going into a sink for now because we didn't have an immediate use for them. So this belt is also 480 per minute. The two belts are maxed out. Now, since that's the most we can send down one belt, the cliffs of copper here, they're all winding through here, going through all of these hanging, suspended, well, not really suspended, they're hanging. If you'd count them as hanging. They are mounted. That's the word I'm looking for. They are mounted to the cliffside. And each of these constructors is eating 20 copper ingots per minute. That means there are 24 of these machines, but they're only outputting 10 per minute. Yes, 10 per minute. So if we are eating 480 per minute and we're only producing half as many output, that means we are only producing 240 per minute, not 480. Yeah, so the sign is wrong. The sign says that we are producing 480 per minute, but what we're doing is we're consuming 480 per minute. That means we are not producing enough copper sheets to actually supply those 12 machines. Yep. So the first thing we need to do today is fix that. And what we're going to do is we're going to double up the cliffs of copper and make this sign actually not lie to us. But this is a pain. This is a pain to do. Fortunately, now we have a jetpack, so it should be a little less painful. But I'm just going to get it done, knock it out, and I'll come back and we'll move on to our next project. All right, and there they are. 24 more constructors, all snuggled away on the cliff. So, as you can see, I kind of went behind the building this time. Woo. Woo. And there's the original line still running as it was before. And I decided to kind of go around the back of that cliff and just kind of utilize this space over here. It's not as visible from the station, but that's all right. That's all right. You can see we can keep down here. There was a little ledge down there we could utilize, and it's all winding around, and it's gonna all re-merge itself right here with the existing line. So all we need to do is plug in the ingots and get it up and running. And right here is where the output's going to be. I think that again, it hasn't been fired up, so hopefully I got it all right. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to redirect this, that, and that. So that guy's now going to be the line that feeds the new set. Of course, this door is going to be a little blocked, but that's all right. Oh, that's not a perfect turn. 1, 2. And there we go. That should be everything. Now we should have a true 480 copper sheet per minute. Once, this filters through everything, it all gets backed up, and you know how this goes. It always takes time for the initial line to fill up and everything to get going. But that's okay, because we have enough already being produced to carry us over for now. Get down here before our jetpack runs out of power, runs out of fuel. And we don't actually, we're producing more circuit boards from this facility than we're using at the moment. So that's perfectly fine. Even if this is being starved of copper sheeting, it should still be producing enough to keep our computers up and running. And so we're not worried about that. But I'm going to need to clean up a little bit down here, and I'll do that. I'll probably do that in a minute. But what we need next is Quickwire. You guys are probably getting tired of hearing me talk about Quickwire. I want to show you kind of the state of our Quickwire real quick, because the next thing we're going to do is we're going to address Quickwire. Now, we technically have enough Quickwire now. We took our Quickwire offline from this building, freeing up a bunch of Quickwire, and we are now eating up 420 here, and we're still eating up 400 here, so that's 820 of our 1200 producing. And the building that we're getting ready to make, or we're going to make today, for our high-speed connectors, we're going to do 4 high-speed connectors. It's kind of my go-tos is start with 4 for these big builds. Not always, but if we can. And that's 90 Quickwire per minute so that's an additional 360. That is under our 1200. And that's awesome. But it's really close. That's going to put us at 1170, 1180 Quickwire per minute. It's only going to give us 20 per minute, and that's okay. But it's a different problem. It introduces another issue to us, and let me go upstairs and see if I can illustrate this issue. Alright, so there was probably just a jump cut there because I was a rambling mess trying to explain the problem here and just decided to just scrap it and do it again. So the problem we have with Quickwire is that we need 400 on one line, 420 on another line, and 360 on a third line. We have 2 stations worth of Quickwire coming in, which by the math is enough. Technically, right, it's 1200 per. However, one of these 2 stations needs to produce in the neighborhood of 800 Quickwire per minute without us having to do some weird merging, splitting shenanigans that may not actually work out for us because there is no such thing as a smart merger. There's only smart splitters. And that's a problem because at our manufacturing facility, we're producing 1200 per minute. That means we are only producing 600 Quickwire per station. We need one station that's providing around 800 Quickwire per minute. And furthermore, we also want to turn on the other 4 machines in our computer manufacturing, which is going to eat up another 420 per minute. So what we actually need is roughly 800 per minute from each one of those stations. So what we're going to do is we're going to first go to our Quickwire facility and we're going to double up its output. So we're supplying enough Quickwire to both stations to be able to handle all of our projects. So that's where we're going to go next. And we'll go over the plan and we'll get to work. All right. I think it's safe to park here. Make sure we're not blocking any signals. As long as they can leave. Yeah, I think we're good. So the Quickwire train goes clockwise. I don't think it ever passes that way. I think it's good. All right. So what we're going to do today is we're going to actually probably double the size of this building entirely. And just max out what we can get out of it. Now, to do this, we're going to actually need to utilize a 3rd station, which is kind of something I forgot about when we were talking just now over there. About getting one station to be able to, supply 800 per minute. That'll probably still happen. But we are going to need 3 stations to be able to handle all of the product that we're going to produce here, because we're going to produce a total of 2400 Quickwire per minute, and I think we can get away with 3 stations worth of belts to do so, which would be 3 belts per side, right? Because we'll be producing 1200 Quickwire per minute on each division of the, of the building. And 1200 is 3 Mark IV belts. So that's what we'll do. We'll have 3 Mark IV belts on one side, eating up 400 or carrying 400 per minute each. And then the other side, and that will be our 3 stations up there. Now we'll have to do some shenanigans back at the electronics hub because we're actually using all 5 of the freight platforms over there for that train, but 2 of them I think are supplying supplies back to home and could be merged into one. So that's not a big deal. I'm not too concerned about that. I was always aware that we might need to do this, but that's going to be the next thing we're going to tackle, and that's also going to be the next surprise. Again, over the past couple of weeks, I've been getting problems fixed, and I think it's time to reveal another problem that we got fixed. So let's get this thing built, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is interesting. I paused the recording real quick to do some math, and this guy came along and scooped me off the roof. No! Oh no! Okay, let me get back to the... let me get back to the building. I probably should get to the ground wall. I still have jetpack fuel. And big reveal! We have time lapses again! Haha, yes! Like I said, I was busy over the past couple weeks. I was able to get a hold of the developer for Ficsit Cam, which is the mod that I used for time-lapsing. And as you're aware, we have not been able to time-lapse since we went up to update 6 because version 3 of the mod had unfortunately kind of broken time-lapsing. But I was able to pin down the developer and have a great one-on-one with him over a couple of days and talked about the problems that I had been running into since going to version 3, and that now that we were in update 6, I had to go to version 3 and no longer could use the tool. And he looked into the problems. He was able to find a way to get around the stuttering. He addressed the problem with the screenshots being too dark, and this is the final result. He actually now has published a live version of this on the mod website, so now everyone has access to it. So I want to thank Panicotta profusely for his hard work on this, you know, the mod itself, and for taking the time to work with me to get this fixed. All right, there it is. There it is. You can see we have the old side still functioning, new side not so much. But I think everything is properly hooked up. I hope. I even got the lighting and everything. But this required a complete rebelting and a reimagining, I guess, a remathing of all the belts. You know, earlier I said I wanted to do 400 per belt for 6 belts because this is 2,400 total output for this entire facility. But doing that was problematic because these produce at 60 per minute per machine, and basically it would have required us doing some overflow, merging, splitting, and whatnot to get the little bits that we need to equal everything out to 400, and it just honestly was not worth it. So what I did was I went with 3 belts on each side like before, except that I did 7 machines, and then 6 in the back. And that's how I divided it up. So that still works out just fine. It's what, 420 on 2 of the belts, and then 360 on another belt. And I divvied up the load of going to the stations. So this right here is a 360 belt, and then 420 and 420. You see they've split sides. This side is doing the top belt, that side is doing the bottom belt for the middle, and the middle is the one that has 2 420 lines. That way, you know, we just kind of remember that the middle belt has the higher throughput. So that works out pretty well, and this is a 360 and a 420. And I think it's going to work very nicely. I've already run it to the station. You can see we have water flowing, but we don't have the material coming in yet. That's kind of what I'm waiting on. And it's all been run, and I went back to the other station, you know, the destination, and I flipped it over to unload and disconnected the incoming stuff that was previously outgoing so that we don't have any kind of mixture of products in the wrong place. So that's all resolved. Now we don't actually have those that third station going to anything yet, but that's, you know, we're about to build our manufacturers for the high-speed connectors, and we'll just take off of the new freight platforms. Boy, that came together fast. It's already starting to go. That's great. I mean, you know, as usual, we're gonna have to let that stuff back up, but these have such high output that it's just doesn't take any time at all for us to start seeing results. But it's great. So we're gonna head back to the electronics hub The miners are overclocked as appropriate, and yeah, everything's looking good. I mean, I know it looks like, oh, you know, you just copied a building, but this building already was pretty intricate as it was, and reproducing it was still quite a chore. Oh, look, all right, already picking up the new stuff. Nice. All right, you know what? I'm just gonna ride this one, and we'll call our train. Ooh, oh, there we go. This is going where we're going. Like I said, we can remote call that, so let's head over to the hub. All right, so as long as I didn't mess anything up, we should see an unload into this middle freight platform. You can see I move the conveyors over to the outputs. I probably shouldn't stand on that. All right, buddy, unload. There it is. Excellent. Okay, very good. So now what we need to do is to actually build our new building. A little bit more, going from one construction right to another one. And there's still a lot of cleaning up that needs to be done down here. But, you know, as we start getting the things in their final state, then we'll know where everything needs to go, and we can start cleaning these up and making it look a lot nicer under here. I also put these signs here. So as you can see, this is the middle one. That's going to have 840 coming in. We'll have 780 in that one and 780 on this one as well. And it's just a nice, easy reminder of what's coming in on those freight platforms so that we can divvy them up appropriately and not, you know, accidentally send not enough somewhere. And this one having 420 and 420 for the 480 is just absolutely perfect because we use 420 for half of that building. So we'll use up 100% of this one by connecting that one and running it also over there when we're ready to turn on the computers, which, to be honest, we're probably ready right now. Maybe not. We'll have to do a little bit of math on the circuit boards. In fact, I don't think we're ready to turn it on. We are producing enough circuit boards, but this facility here is not producing enough, I don't think, for the entire building. We're going to have to pull down some of the circuit boards that are coming from the spire. So I'm not going to worry about that right now, but once we've run that, we can also run this Quickwire, and I think we can just turn that building on. I think we're good. But let's get ourselves, we're running out of time, I'm sure, to building a high-speed connector building, which I'm going to do in this style because I loved this building so much. And, you know, we're kind of trying to fit in a theme, right? Because this is supposed to be a unified complex, the electronics hub. And so I think we're going to do something like this, if not exactly like this, because this is a 4 manufacturer building, and we are going to be doing 4 manufacturers. So I need to kind of decide for sure where we're going to put it. I think it's going to be either right here, or we might bring it out a little bit out from underneath and you know, put it out here a little bit on the shoreline. I'll have to figure it out. We'll think about it. Also, I built this off camera, not today, but it's been here for a little bit. It's a little observation for some bees. Trap them in there. They might be able to sneak under there, so I should be careful. But yeah, it's pretty safe here. I spent a fair amount of time standing around on it, and I just kind of forgot to show you guys after I had built it. But let me map out an area, and we'll probably time-lapse another building for our second time-lapse today. So let's get to it.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less. Your check is I'm chess, what's happening next? Yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson. He got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill no discretion. Your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me.
Boy, look at that view. Isn't that amazing? Can you imagine having a view like this from your home or business office or from anywhere? Not only do you have this, it's like ocean inlet or lake maybe, but you have a giant planet with rings off in the distance. And you can watch trains go by, trains which are not moving. I'm sure that he's just backed up. All right, oh my goodness, there's 3 of them. Something's wrong. All right, well, I'll deal with that in a minute. Anyway, we're seriously running out of time. Here it is. Here's the building. It's done. I put some lights in because the green was not really sticking out too well of the machines. There was, it's looking kind of yellowish. You can see from the shadows. And so I dimmed them to half and left them white light so that we could just get some of the green, have it pop. And I think it's very nice. But all we need to do is the final connection. Everything is all up and ready to go. And this should produce 12 high-speed connectors. And I know that doesn't seem like much, but we don't really need that much. At this higher-end product line, these things don't get used real heavily. Like these machines are only using 3 circuit boards. So, likewise, future projects won't use too many of these products. But I love this style of build. I love being able to watch the items come up and down the belts, and the lifts. It's just super cool. But yeah, it's done. I ended up putting it right next to the circuit boards. Kind of made sense because it was the same width of building. And of course it needed to use the circuit boards as well. So, I don't think these belong here anymore. And yeah, I just ran it across the top. And the output will go up and over to here for now. But we're going to use these just literally next episode. So I didn't really want to route these to anywhere weird until we have our next building built, which we will go over in the next episode. But as I mentioned, we are really out of time, and I still have one more thing to show you very quickly, which is a preview of what we're doing in the live stream. So I'm going to cut to that real quick, and then I will see you at home for the outro. So we're heading out towards the fuel plant, which, of course, is a pretty long rail line as it is. Oh, what's this? Is this a new rail line? Where's this going? So here we are on the future job site for the live stream. In case that high speed was just a little too high speed, this is where we are on the map. All the way down here at the very corner of the map, the southern tip. Home is up here and we go all the way around. So be sure to, stop by on the live stream. Again, it's going to be at least 2 or 3 more weeks probably doing this project in this area, but we are going to be building a mega power plant, and it's going to be quite a lot of work, and I would love to have you guys with me because it makes it a lot more fun, and it's always great to hang out. All right, well, we're going to head back home because we got an outro to do. All right, we are back at home. Not really much to say. We had a very packed day. We got all kinds of stuff done. We We doubled the clips of copper. We doubled our Quickwire. We got our high-speed connectors up and running. I mean, that was, a culmination of many episodes worth of work, and we were just to bang out a bunch of stuff all right together, which is awesome. And next episode, we're going to build on it some more. We're not done with electronics yet. We still want to get the computer building up to full speed, and we have supercomputers to do. So definitely be sure to come back next week, check that out. And absolutely, if you feel like you can come out on a Saturday, just stop in, say hi during the live stream. We live stream for many hours, so if you are not available, around the 4 p.m. Eastern or different time zone, maybe even on the other side of the planet, don't assume that we're no longer streaming, because this we stream for many hours, and just stop in, say hi. But again, if you enjoyed this, be sure to leave a like. It really helps out. Subscribe if you haven't. And leave a comment. Let me know what you think of the series, and how you feel about time lapses being back. It was a little rusty doing them, but I am so glad to have them again. Thank you very, very much for coming out, and I look forward to seeing you either next episode or hopefully live on Saturday.